This Lotus had its engine stolen, so its owner replaced it with a Lexus V8. It now makes 336 horsepower and revs to 7,000 RPM, and as we're about to find out, it's properly quick. Nick!
Yes, Will.
I reckon this is the car that sort of sums up practical performance car perfectly.
Yeah.
Because you didn't pay much for it.
No.
You haven't spent a lot on it.
No.
You've put a lot of work into it.
A lot of work, yeah.
And you've completely transformed it.
Yes.
So this would have started life with, I mean, let's start with the basics. This is a Lotus Elite, isn't it?
A Lotus Eclat. The Elite was the shooting brake version.
And this would have had a 2.2...
a 2 litre.
2 litre?
2 litre 16 valve, which supposedly left the factory with 160 horsepower.
160 quite stressed horsepower.
Yes, yeah, and they're very expensive to rebuild.
Yeah, so did yours have one of those when
It
you bought it?
had no engine, no gearbox, so it was
That's the way to buy a car.
A blank canvas. As
That's
they
a
say.
very green car, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you tow it home with a horse?
Got it trailered home and then decided what engine to put in it.
So you didn't have an idea of what engine you were going to put in it when you got it?
I had various ideas, but I didn't know I was going to put a Lexus V8 in it.
Right, and that's what you went for?
That's what I ended up with, yes.
And why did you choose that?
It was available.
Right.
Our good friend Frank had one sat in a lockup.
Oh, it was Frank's
So
engine.
it was
Frank
it
Paul
was,
of
Frank's
Charity
engine.
Track Days.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So yes, we came to a deal, and they did me a very good deal.
Why did Frank have a Lexus V8 in his shop?
He was going to put it in an MX-5.
Of course he was.
And he realised he didn't have time to do that, so it's ended up in this.
Okay, so how do you get a Lexus V8 to sit in a Lotus? You have to make engine mounts, presumably.
Yeah, make engine mounts. It's a bit of a squeeze, but the car was originally designed to take a V8.
Was it?
In the early 70s, and then the oil crisis hit, and they chopped that V8 in half and put a 4-cylinder in.
So was Chapman going to turn that 907 into a V8?
Yeah.
Quad cam V8?
That was the idea, yeah. But fuel prices went ridiculous, so they brought it down to a 2 litre, and yeah, but the engine bay was wide enough.
Right.
To take it, so the slant 4, it was half a V8.
Yeah. Now Lexuses are all autos, if I'm
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So what have you done for a gearbox? Because I
So-
don't suppose you wanted an auto in this.
No, not at all, no. So it's got a BMW 5-speed Getrag from a E36 BMW. Right. Any 6-cylinder E36, that gearbox.
And how did you make that then?
So it's an adapter plate, and it uses a BMW clutch.
Right.
And just an adapter from the end of the crank, a puck on the end of the crank.
Yeah.
Changes the PCD, so you can then bolt the BMW flywheel on, and that's it, you've got a drivetrain.
Right, and that's is that an off-the-shelf part then? The adapter plate?
Pretty much, yeah. There's a company in Poland do them called PMC, I believe.
Right.
They do them, and there's various ones around the world, because the V8's been swapped in, the Lexus V8's been swapped into so many vehicles now, so yeah.
Okay. Now you haven't stuck with the standard rear end either, have you?
No, the rear ends were notoriously weak anyway, even with the 2 litre. So, and the gearing was the main problem. The gearing would have been way off for a big, low revving, relatively V8.
Yeah.
It would have been just not right. So I've ended up putting a Jaguar XJS IRS in the back with a power lock diff.
Right.
Yeah.
That must have taken some work.
That was the hardest part of the conversion, yeah. So
really?
getting it to physically fit
the original
in there.
chassis here,
yeah,
and then this the plate bolts to it, and then the diff bolts to the plate,
right,
and then it's bolted at the top as well through the chassis downwards, and then that subframe, that whole frame goes forwards to the main chassis.
Wow.
So yeah, keep looking at it, but now it's ever cracked, so happy days.
I tried to fit the original inboard discs, but there was no room for them, so I went outboard discs, and yeah, it's all come together, and surprisingly the car's exactly the same width as an XJS.
That is amazing.
Which was handy, so it all fitted underneath it.
Wow.
Built a subframe to mount it in there, and yeah. It's still in there.
Well, that's good.
It hasn't come out yet.
But what about the front suspension? Wasn't it sort of Triumph Herald based?
Yeah, so it is a double wishbone sort of design, but the bottom arm's located with the anti-roll bar, which is a very thin anti-roll bar with a poly bush on the end, and that wasn't working out very well on track.
No.
So I've triangulated the bottom arms as well to add some strength there and stability.
Right. And what about brakes? Because
yeah, the brakes were originally Jaguar 3-pot calipers.
3-pot caliper?
Yeah, a 3-pot caliper.
Trust Jaguar to come up with
Who
that.
even knew there was a 3-pot caliper? So there was 2 small ones on the outside and 1 big one on the inside.
Odd.
So I did, and onto a solid disc, 260 mil.
Right.
So now we've got 320 mil 350Z rear discs on the front.
That's the rear brakes on a
Rear
350Z
brakes off a
that big,
350Z, yeah, and with Subaru 4-pot calipers. So, and then the Jaguar brakes on the back, 300 mil Jaguar brakes on the
that
back.
should stop pretty well, shouldn't
It stops very well, yeah. Sometimes too well.
And did you have any trouble getting the Lexus V8 to run properly?
No, it was a...
Because you're still using the Lexus ECU, aren't you?
It's the Lexus ECU, but it's a custom-made loom by Phoenix Motorsport.
Right.
So it's a plug and play. You could literally give it some fuel, put a battery onto the loom, and it'll run on your garage floor.
Oh, right, so you don't need to use all the Lexus clocks and all that kind of thing?
Nothing. It's
But
just...
didn't you have a problem with it thinking it was still in first gear or something?
Yes, there's a modification within the ECU which they hadn't done. So when it goes above, I think it's 800 RPM, it then tells the ECU that it's in second gear and it gives full power.
Right.
It still thought it was in neutral.
So it was quite sluggish, was it?
It only gave 220 horse.
And what is it now then?
336. With the intake mods and the exhaust mods. Yeah, that's what it's been dynoed at.
It's been dynoed at that,
Yeah.
so there's no arguing about it.
No, well,
What does it rev to, the Lexus V8?
7.
7?
Yeah, it'll rev to 7, so it's quite a revvy thing for a V8, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you've got, I'm presumably you made the exhaust, did you?
Yeah, completely. Yeah, so I used the manifolds. I can't even remember which model it was off, but they were the nice snug manifolds that they had to be to fit within the engine bay.
Block huggers, as the Americans.
Yeah, and they came down. I actually opened them up as well. I sort of gas flowed the manifolds and then made the exhaust just 2.5 inch.
I think you've got the exhaust perfect because it sounds fantastic without being too loud.
Yeah. I'm tempted to set the back box off sometimes just to see what it's like.
You need one of those valves, don't you?
Yeah, it does really, yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be nice. But I think it's, like I say, I think I've got the balance right. It does sound nice.
Yeah, I can feel those brakes really on onto it, aren't they?
I'm going to try holding this wheel.
It does, it sounds great. And you use it on track, don't you? Because I've been in it.
Yeah.
In fact, there's,
So that's where it's sort of been developed, because that's where the problems get highlighted with the brakes, with the suspension. That's the only way to test them, because it is a fast car on the road, so on the track is the place to really test it.
Sure.
And the handling's very good. It's very well balanced.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's just, like I said, the brakes have been a bit of an issue, but they've gone through, I think it's 3 developments now, and now we are where we are now with 320mm fronts, and
Oh, and you've got yourself a servo-assisted clutch, haven't you?
Yeah, so the clutch, I was very limited within the standard pedal box because I've converted it to hydraulic to match the gearbox slave cylinder.
Yeah.
So it was very, very heavy. I could only get so much leverage within the pedal box.
Right.
So I've had to add a servo, and it's much better now. Yeah.
And that
yeah,
sits somewhere down in
yeah,
this
it
inner
sits
wheel.
where the old headlight pods used to be.
Press it
Yeah.
without the engine running. It's like really heavy.
Oh, right.
And then it's just absolute double. So much easier. Yeah.
Because you've put MX-5 electric motors on
Yeah,
them.
MX-5 electric motors on the
Because they were
headlights.
famously unreliable, weren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, they
You'd
used
see
to,
them
yeah,
going along
yeah,
like this,
all of it, yeah, yeah, but they're, yeah, they just go bang, bang now. Yeah.
Well, I think we should go for a drive in it then.
Yeah, cool.
Great. Bulky because it's got the twin cam heads, but that's mighty impressive. And it'll do that all day long, won't it? Just a Japanese V8, it'll just keep doing it.
All I did was I changed the cam belt and the water pump, stuck some plugs in it and changed the oil. And that's it? Yeah. Have you got any idea of the history of the engine? No. No.
It'll be fine though, won't it?
It should run forever. What's your overall impression of it then?
I think it's absolutely fantastic. I really do. When I said at the beginning, I think it sums up practical performance car perfectly, this car. Thanks for that, Nick, that was brilliant.
No worries, mate.
If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. Even if you haven't enjoyed it, please share it. Share it with people who don't like, I don't mind. If you really want to help, please become a Patreon member. It's only £5 a month, which you wouldn't even get half a pint of beer in this pub for. So you get ad-free videos, extra footage and exclusive member benefits. Can't say further than that, can I? Thanks a lot, see you next time.